What's up? What's up? Welcome back. It is I, says the cool guy. Thanks for y'all tuning in. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up, hit that notification bell. Ding, ding, ding. And stay up to date with your boy. I haven't done one of these in a minute, so I figure I'll get back to it. Only because something really kind of something I seen touch me, and this is one of those where I've had this kind of same issue in my life before in the past. Thank God that's been over with. But I seen a video with, I think his name is Choke No Joke, or Joke No Choke. I think it's Choke No Joke. East Coast cat up there around, I think, New York and all of that area. And you know, he was on the phone with 50 Cent's son. You know, trying to convince his son, you know, sit down, have a talk with his dad. That's what it seemed like to me, pretty much. And, you know, it's still your father. And they got to talking and going over everything, and it was like, it seemed like to me the kid was feeling some way because he was getting, his mother was getting $6,700 a month in support. $6,700 a month in support. Not this day and age, but back in that day and age. That's a nice bag. It's a nice bag. And he was saying that ain't enough for the lifestyle that he should be living, or was living, that he was used to, accustomed to. After, you know, 50 Cent and his 50 Cent and the son's mother separated. And I'm thinking like, oh boy, Choke No Joke was like, are you, this can't be serious. He was like, I know mothers just getting $200 a month. He was like, my mother was getting $40 a month. And you out here tripping because your mother was getting $6,700 a month. And on top of that, he said 50 gave her $1 million up front. And so she was getting the $6,700 a month until he turned, what, 18 or maybe finished college. Because I know I had the same thing until he finished college. He was like 21. Now I think he's like 25 now. So it's pretty much, he was feeling entitled, like he should have kept that lifestyle that he was living with when he was with his dad. So he made a point to say, like, what if, okay, you were separated, but if I'm living with my dad and I'm wearing Louis Vuittons, and then I go home to my mom's and I'm wearing Skechers, you think that's right? Fuck yeah, that's right. Man, your mom separated. Now I'm not saying that you can't take some stuff over there with you or your clothes. I don't know how all that was, but it's not my responsibility. If I'm paying the $6,700 a month in support, I'm pretty sure he was taking care of medical, all the other stuff. All that stuff was covered, because they get you on that. Yeah, that's one thing. They get you.
Then take the exit to I-635 East.
And I'm giving you $6,700 a month. It's up to the mother, which I don't think she was working the way they was making it sound like. That's her fault. If she would have worked, that's another, even if she made $2,000, $8,000 a month, that's good. That's real good. People ain't even, this is people out here who are married and ain't even making $4,000 a month. I remember the time that when I was younger, you know, I had kids, I wasn't making $2,500 a month. And he was like, well, I should be still living that same type of lifestyle that I was before him and my mom separated. You still living a good lifestyle. Your mom's got $2,500 to buy a nice crib, and it's only just you and her. She only know 3-bedroom crib, 2-bedroom condo. Even with that $2,500, even if she spent $3,000 a month. But if he paid $1 million, gave her $1 million up front, she should have bought a house off top. 500,000. 500,000 for a good crib, real good crib. And today that crib probably be worth a million and something. $1 million and some change. And she still would have said 500,000 sitting on plus the $6,700 a month. Now if she's working, or she could have took that, invested it, learned something, and did something with that bag. And from my understanding, I know I watched 50 talked about it before. He was like, he tried to put her in position to do stuff, but she didn't want to do nothing. And he's not with that. He was like, I'm out here working, doing all of this. I'm giving you a chance to get a leg up and do something. And she didn't want to do it. And that was a turnoff. In which I could get that. If I got to this level, I need you to get somewhere on this level with me. Unless you just cool with that, like, you know what, I'll take care of you the rest of life, you ain't never gotta work. But he was not like that. I don't think he was like that. And from his work ethic, from what I didn't hear everybody talk about how he worked and his discipline, doing everything, because he works. So Choke was like, you gotta be kidding me. What's wrong with these kids? These kids, he was like, you need to humble yourself. And it made me think, you know, the kid was like, you know, he wasn't never there. He was a bad father. And the boy was like, that's not a bad father. A bad father is somebody who, he didn't say this, but I'm thinking a bad father is somebody who beats you, do all this type of stuff, talk down upon you all the time, and all of that stuff. That's a bad father. But one who works consistently to build a life for you for a long term, not just for you, for generations to come, for your kids and so on. Sometimes he's not gonna be around there a lot. And he made the example, like his neighbor, wherever he stayed, he was like, he got a doorbell that catches the neighbor. He was like, he has a younger daughter, and his wife is pregnant. She doesn't work. He was like, he see him get up leave the house maybe around 5, 6 in the morning, come back around 3, 4 for a few hours, then leave back out maybe around 6, comes in after midnight. So he like, this man is a regular person, he's working 2 jobs, and you think he's out providing for his family, you think he gets to really spend time with his kid? And he said he see the doorbell catching like clockwork. 6 days a week, 1 day off. And I know a lot of fathers is like that, working 30, 40, 60, 80 hours. And I was like that at one point. I used to travel. And I was gone, sometimes 6 months at a time. Sometimes I was putting in 80 hours a week, 60 plus 80 hours a week sometimes. And I just sleep, traveling, city to city, state to state, working, getting that bag, trying to make sure everybody at home straight. And I know it was a hard time for my wife being at home by herself, dealing with them, but she held that down. And I know along the line it came issues with being gone a lot, because I get it. Kids just want you to there. They ain't thinking about the money, but they don't understand what it takes to live. They kids. They don't understand. If you don't eat, we out on the street like these homeless people over here, and ain't nobody gonna care. In which we came real close to that one time where shit just got bad. Like, and this was when we moved to Texas. Thank God my older brother was here and was able to camp out at my older brother for a minute until I got shit squared away and straightened out. But, and I think they understood then, like, damn, sleeping on pallets on the floor. We not in our bed. We're not coming home to our home. We in somebody else's confined space. Kids don't understand that until shit like that happen, and then they'll learn to appreciate how hard it is. And as my kids then got older, I thank God that I continued to do what I did, even though I was gone, to see them where they at now, living. Two of them that graduated from college. One's getting ready to graduate from college, and she getting ready to be a mother. And they don't ask for nothing. Pay their own bills, live their own life, and they living. They living better than I was at their age in my early 20s. A lot better. I was still lost at 21. So I'm glad the decisions I made and the sacrifices I gave up is to see them where they are now and moving and doing better. Sometimes kids will never understand that until they have their own kids. It's like my daughter who's getting ready to have a kid. Me and my wife think like she gonna learn a lot about what it takes to be a mother and the sacrifices you give. Because, you know, some things she didn't understand how my wife, her mother, would sacrifice so much and give up so much just for the kids. And now she's having her own kids, so she's gonna understand that and learn that.
Toward Addison Toll Tunnel.
It is what it is. That's something you're gonna have to learn and sacrifice, because it's not about you no more. Everything is about the kid. Your life is not the same. But yeah, just seeing that video with him talking about it, and you know, he was trying to like, man, just talk to your father, man. You're still your father. Y'all disrespectful. How y'all is, and how the kid was talking is just so disrespectful. Like saying $6,700 ain't enough to live. Like you're not supposed to live the lifestyle. Yeah, if you with me and rap with me, you live in that lifestyle. Just like my wife, my girl, or anybody. If I'm good, you good. If I ain't straight, we ain't straight. And especially unless you keeping everything going while I can't keep it going. But the way he was talking was like, man, and old boy was like, man, this generation of kids, man, they just think everything's supposed to be handed to them, and they supposed to always live a certain way just because you got it. Yeah, I got it from working. I'm supposed to teach you how to get up and get it and work. You just ain't no free passes. We black, and 50 Cent like come from sleeping on the floor at his grandparents' house and stuff like that. He was like, he wasn't no silver spoon in his mouth. That's why he worked as hard as what he worked.
Toward Addison Toll Tunnel, then take the
and you know, he got to one point where he was talking about, you know, because 50 Cent's son, when he really like, you know, I can't rock with him no more. I'll never forget him from this. Is when he took a picture with, I think the cat's name was Supreme, 50 Cent's op. And, you know, he was a person, I believe, who tried to get him killed and was connected with the whole Murder Inc. stuff all together. So, which I just watched. Y'all should check out the Math Hoffa. Man, he gives a lot of information, which it was just a video I just watched yesterday with Bimmy, who is Waka Flocka's mom. It's her brother, and his story is great. And he used to run with Supreme, and he was cool 50 Cent, but he just talked about the whole little situation with them and everything. He was like, yeah, if I know you had something to do with me getting shot 9 times.
Turn right.
It's till death do you. I hope you rot. I hope you, wherever you is, you is. I got hit 9 times because of you, and I survived. So I get it why he was saying I can't never rock with my son no more. In which I get that also. Like, one of my kids, and I had an enemy like that tried to kill me. Really tried to kill me. Wasn't no he say, she say, and you knew about it. He tried to end my life. and you go be hanging out, I don't know if it just was a photo op or what, but if you go hang out and take a picture with that person and you knew about it, because me and you having odds, and you take a picture with that person who attempted to end my life, we done. I ain't rocking with you ever again. You go on your way, I go on my way. I'm gonna keep it moving. You chose that. Now, if his son didn't know the situation, what had happened, but I think he was old enough to know. He should have known better to do that, especially with your dad and who he is. You should have known better. So there's no excuse for that. So, you know, they say time will heal everything. So maybe one day in the future, you know, he's just 25, another 20 years or so, 15 years, hopefully before then, because, you know, time's going by quick. Hopefully, you know, they can heal and resolve their issues, and it may not be like it would have been with everything that's going on, how he been speaking, but I don't know. But to hear him say that about, you know, the money and all of this, and he should have been well kept. I'm like, 67, you should have been well kept with your mama. You know, he lived with his mama, and we know women, which I'm probably gonna talk about this in another one. I just watched it on Math Hoffa again. Lil C's from Black Ink talk about everything that went on with his situation, man, and how the courts do, the fathers trying to get their kids and everything. It's just crazy. And how they do everything to keep you not around as a father and prevent you. And how long he was like, I haven't seen my kid, pay my support, do all of this for years. So it's the courts' fault. It's why these kids, I say, is courts and mothers. These mothers who are hurt, scorned, or whatever you want to call them. I say this, my wife, you know, she kind of get mad at me, but I'm like, if you have a kid, think about it logically. If you have a kid all the time, and your kid, and you telling bad stuff about the stuff that ain't even true about the child's father, just because y'all having issues or whatever, saying this and that, then it is what it is. It's your fault. It's your fault. Why these kids out here lost and doing half the shit they do. You can't say it's the father's fault. He ain't around. You chose for him not to be around. You did everything in your power to keep him from being around in that child's life and preventing him from being what he is to this day. Especially if he's a bad kid. Now, I'm not saying all mothers, because there's some good mothers out there really who don't do that and try to keep the father involved, and the father ain't shit and just don't want to fucking be involved for whatever his reasons is. Those are cases that are out there. But there's a lot of cases where fathers are really trying to be involved in their kid's life, and it's all the mother who's trying to keep them from being in the kid's life. So that already gets your brain thinking that your father don't do nothing, he ain't taking care of nothing. We don't even know if the mother ever told him that he was getting money, because I had that situation with my oldest son. As we got older now, we talked, he was like, yeah, I never knew you was getting anything. It got to one point where I was like, look, I gave him all the receipts. It's up to you to figure that out. These are the receipts. This is what I've been paying. Yes, I did have certain hard times where at times I wasn't able to pay right then, and shit was tight, but I've been paying. And I paid out today. Cleared. Nothing. So he was like, yeah, I never knew none of that. Mom was making it sound like you ain't never paid nothing or gave nothing. I was like, that's the case. So mothers do a lot of stuff and fuck up these kids' lives more than the father do. Everybody want to put the blame on the father, and he ain't even there. And I try to say, oh, because he ain't there. No, it's because of the women. Some fathers choose to be there. I'm not trying to deal with you. I'm just trying to pick him up, get our time and everything. And try my best to be around, but you make it harder and harder and harder for a person. Sometimes men, I got it to one point where I was like, you know what, it's best for me to just walk away right now. Because if I don't, I'm going to do something that's going to cause a real serious problem in my life. And I've had those times a few times where
In 1/4 mile, arrive at 7120 Campbell Road on the right.
my wife had to call my bro to come save me from doing something. Seriously doing something. I've been on some Eminem type shit a couple times. That's all I'm gonna say on that. But yeah, so when the kid, you know, him saying that, I was like, man, it just made me think, fathers, but we get it real bad with everything that be going on.
Arriving at 7120 Campbell Road on the right.
So, you know what? I'm gonna drop the link down below and let y'all check that out for yourselves to see what actually, you know, listen to everything they were saying in it, but it's just crazy, man. So I want y'all, thank y'all for tuning in for me as I talk about that a little bit. But y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Y'all is these kids tripping nowadays, thinking they entitled. Or was he right? I don't think he was right. I don't think he was right at all. But hey, y'all think he is? Y'all let me know what y'all think. But hey, Mo Style, I'm out. Check it out next time. Peace.